हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिते नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। गुरवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। Thank you, dear devotees, for joining us in this uh, continuation of the reading of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Antilila, the last phase of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's um, earthly pastimes. Mahaprabhu's pastimes are eternal, but this is the last phase of Mahaprabhu's earthly pastimes. Also, I am not sure about India, but in America today is Ekadashi. So maybe in India it's today or maybe it's tomorrow, whichever the day it is. It is a very holy occasion, very special occasion to talk about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In fact, it's glorious to talk about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu any day, but on the day of Ekadashi, when it's primarily meant to hear and chant, it's even better. So I think tomorrow is Ekadashi. So in America, today is Ekadashi. So, um, just like Prabhupada would say, every day is a festival. In America, today is a festival. In India, it's going to be a festival tomorrow. So every day in our ISKCON, in our Gaudiya Sampradaya, we have some festival or the other that helps us remind Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Sri Krishna. Like we always say that the day of Ekadashi is called as Hari Vasara. It is the day where Hari resides. Hari Nivas karte hain. I remember when we were small, the place that I would live. So that it's a place in Mumbai, and that area was a little interesting because near the place where we would stay, many of the places had their names in connection to the Supreme Lord. Like the street adjacent to my home, the name of the street was Ramchandra Nagar. Ramchandra Nagar. Like in India, you have those places, Ramchandra Nagar. Then you would have there was like a roundabout, so to say, or like a junction, and that was called as Hari Nivas Circle. Hmm. So there are many such places uh, where the names were in connection to the Supreme Lord. So I just remembered because we were saying Hari Vasara, that the place where Hari resides, and that place I remember. So to go to any place, you have to go through that. It's like a crossroads, like a junction. So it was called Hari Nivas Circle. So when people have to say something, the auto walas have to say something. हाँ हरी निवास से लेफ्ट ले लीजिए, रामचंद्र नगर वहां से राइट लीजिए, फिर यहाँ आइए. So we see so much like in our Indian culture and the way the even roads are named, there is so much of Agyata Sukruti that happens. You may not think of calling out to Ramchandra. You may not think of calling out to Hari, but you still get the benefit. Mm. So it makes sense. That's why in the older tradition, the names of children were also named as the names of the Supreme Lord. Rama, Krishna, Govinda, or Hari, etc. So that the parents, even if they are not devotional as such. That was the tradition that was coming. So, yena kena prakarena. You just call out to your son, but by calling out to your son, you get the benefit of calling out to the Supreme Lord. Just like a Jamil. He didn't call out to Narayan, but he called out to Narayan and he got the benefit of calling out to Narayan. Mm. So it's nice to be surrounded by places or people or anything that reminds us about the Supreme Lord or can help the tongue chant the name of the Supreme Lord. I'm pretty sure maybe in the places where you all stay also there may be some street, something that is connection to the Supreme Lord. But nowadays we find that in the olden days that was the tradition where the children were named like Govinda, Rama, Krishna, etc. And nowadays you have all the nicknames and pet names and all of them have no connection to the Supreme Lord. You know what the nicknames and pet names are. जो भी घर में बुलाए जाते हैं इत्यादि उसका और भक्ति का कोई संबंध होता ही नहीं है. So it's good that if the name is devotional, ideally the name should be devotional. And if that same devotional name can be called out, why? Because the person who's calling out our name, even though he's calling out to us, he gets the benefit of calling out to the Supreme Lord because that name belongs to the Supreme Lord. Mhm. So today is Hari Vasara. Mhm. From Hari Vasara, I just remembered my childhood where we had the thing Hari Nivas. Mhm. So it is the day where Hari resides, and it is also the day called as Madhavatiti. Madhavatiti Bhakti Janani. Mhm. So it's the day when Madhava also resides and Bhakti Devi is present. Bhakti Janani. Janani means mother. So on this auspicious day of Ekadashi, which is today and tomorrow, based on wherever you're joining from, we are here to discuss the Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And particularly in this section, we find that Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has just returned. Yes, my mother is reminding me. Yes, we had another street called Ram Maruti Road. Yes. That street was called Ram Maruti Road. All this close to our house. Hmm. So Ram Maruti, for those who follow Ramayana and Hanumanji, Ram Maruti. Um, so all these roads you see are all in connection with the Supreme Lord. So you have Ramchandra on one side, you have Hari on one side. So the next time, maybe when we are also going out, we can just have a closer look. Maybe there are some streets around us also, which we have been calling out, but we have not, it's not registered. Or let's do the exploration. Even if there are some roads that we have not um, walked on, maybe we can just take आस घर के आसपास अगर ऐसा कुछ रास्ता है जो भगवान का नाम पर है. It's good to walk that street because you're walking the path of the Supreme Lord. Mhm. So yes, that's a small uh, homework, so to say. You can just see around yourself what are the things that remind you of the Supreme Lord, whether they're streets, whether they're people, whether they're whatever. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu now is returning back from the South India Yatra, and Mahaprabhu is now coming back to Jagannath Puri. And we discuss as to how when he's coming back to Jagannath Puri, the devotees from Bengal are particularly excited to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they're from Bengal, they're walking their way to the land of Jagannath Puri to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Shivananda Sena is that personality who is arranging the whole parikrama party. He is the yatra leader. So let's continue on that discussion. On the way to Jagannath Puri, Shivananda Sena allowed a dog to come with him. Now this is a very interesting section. He allows a dog to come with him. He supplied the dog food and cared for it. Now, normally a yatra leader will take care of human beings. Let's be realistic. When you have a yatra, the yatra leader will take care of human beings. You will not take care of a dog and give yatra pass and registration to a dog and feed the dog and give water to the dog. A yatra leader will not do because you have so many things to arrange. You wouldn't do that for a dog. Yes, we respect a dog, but you wouldn't give a yatra pass to a dog. But here Shivananda Sen goes all out and he supplies the dog food and cared for it. While crossing the river, And Orison boatmen did not allow the dog in the boat. Shivananda Sen even paid the boatman to take the dog across the river. So much um, spiritual attachment for that dog, that because everyone is going to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he decides to take the dog also, and he pays money to the boatman also. He gives food also to the dog. He gives water also to the dog. So devotee is Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshana. Gita explains, the 15th chapter of the Gita, that a real Pandit means he sees everyone equally. An elephant, a dog, a human, everyone. We see everyone on the same platform, in the sense we see that Krishna is there in the heart of everyone, and we do not um, harm or mistreat. Just because it's a dog, we do not mistreat. Because you never know, maybe 5 lives, 10 lives in the past, maybe we were also dogs, and somehow some devotee showed compassion to us, and we got a upgrade. We got some promotion to be a human being, wherein we can practice Krishna consciousness. So we show our love and respect to all animals. Hmm. But sadly, nowadays in the present generation, we find dogs are considered everything. Hmm. DOG is considered God. Every house, there will be a dog. There will be this breed, that breed. They will comb the dog. They will cut the hair of the dog. They will cut the nails of the dog. They will buy food for the dog. They will take the dog for a walk. Constantly, the mind is thinking DOG, 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 DOG. Instead of the mind to be thinking God, 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 it's thinking dog, dog, dog. So we respect the dog, but we should also respect other living entities, whether they may be a chicken, whether they are any poultry related or anything. We cannot give respect to one, that's dog, and kill the other and have it on our plate. That is not human. That's inhuman. A human being is supposed to have a higher intelligence wherein he sees everyone equally. But we are living sadly in a generation wherein dogs are given utmost love and respect, and every other animal is slaughtered. Every animal is tortured, including the cows. Even the cows that are considered so holy, even the cows are butchered. Even the cows are slaughtered. And in a place wherein cows are considered like mother and cows are considered holy, that's India. India is one of the largest exporters of meat. India is one of the largest exporters of beef. ऐसे देश में जहाँ गौ को माता माना जाता है, जहाँ ठाकुर जी स्वयं गाय के साथ खेलते थे, बछड़े के साथ खेलते थे, उसी देश से हम देखते हैं कि कितने गायों की हत्या की जाती है. So many cows get slaughtered, so many chickens get slaughtered, so many animals get slaughtered, so many fishes, so many aquatics. There is no end to how cruel a human can be just to satisfy his palate. अपने जिह्वा को संतुष्टि देने के लिए हम हर हद तक जाने के लिए तैयार हैं. We are ready to kill all animals, all aquatics, anything that's walking, anything that's crawling, because I'm more powerful, I'll kill it. But we see in the wild, some people give the argument that, well, lions also do it, tigers also do it. Well, the lions and tigers, when they do it naturally, in the sense they don't use any weapons, they don't use any electric machines, they don't use any of those things. They do it naturally with their hands and their mouth. How many of us will have the ability to go in front of a tiger or a lion or any of these animals and with our raw hands kill these animals? None of us can do it. We take instruments, we take weapons, and with those weapons we kill these animals mercilessly, hang them upside down, just because it's very sad and it's very cruel and it's very brutal. If you just look at even the dairy industry for that matter, the the cows that can give milk are made to grow till the time they can give milk. Mm. And this milking process is also such, it's not like the traditional way wherein people would do it from their hands. If you see in the modern day, they have suctions that they put in the udder of the cow. And these are all machines, right? And we know if it's a suction, it just sucks out much intensely than what a human hand can do. And the cow is tied, it cannot go anywhere. The suctions are used. Why? Because we want the milk. We want to exploit the animal. That milk, which is meant for the calf, is not given to the calf. There's so many examples and so many videos that you can find online wherein the milk that belongs to the calf, the day the calf is born, is sidelined from the mother and tied to the side. And the mother is crying on one side, the calf is crying on the other side. The calf that's just born cannot even be with the mother. Why? Because we want the milk. It's exploitation to the core. Till the day the mother can give the milk, it's exploited. There is artificial insemination that takes place. It's complete exploitation. Mm. Maybe most of you all would have seen it and can resonate to what I'm saying. It's only so that at the end of the day, the mind is just working. "Yena kena prakarena," how I can make more money. I don't care if I torture the animal. I don't care if I slaughter the animal. If this is going to give me more money, let's do it. That's the industry where we are living in. But dogs, no, no, no. Dogs, we should are glorious. We should respect the dogs. Yes, we can love the dogs, we can respect the dogs, but why not show the same love and compassion to the other animals also? बेचारे उनकी क्या गलती है? Just because just because you want to selectively pick one animal over the other, what wrong has the other animal done? What is the mistake? Just is the mistake such that it has been born as a cow, or is the mistake such that it's been born as a pig? It's brutal. I remember when I was small, I had read this quote that one author had written, one I think American author, and he had written just one line, and he had said, "The whole world would have been vegetarian only if the slaughterhouses had glass walls. If the slaughterhouses had glass walls, the whole world would be vegetarian. Why? Because if you have glass walls, you can see the torture that's going on inside, and both देख के मन बोलेगा नहीं नहीं ये छोड़ देते हैं, let's be vegetarian." So he had written one line, and it just stuck with me. The whole world would have been vegetarian only if there were glass walls. So let's say no to cruelty, dear devotees. Wherever there is animal torture and wherever there's animal cruelty, let's stay away from it. Just like we don't eat meat as ISKCON devotees, as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, just like we don't eat meat, we don't accept leather either. Why? Because leather is also in connection to an animal. Similarly, anything where there is animal torture, let's stay away from it. Let's open our eyes and let's see what the reality is. Maybe 50, 60 years in the past, things were different. Now things are evolving. And as things are evolving, we have to also evolve. So if we are getting something on our plate which is a product of animal torture, let's open our eyes and cautiously take the right decision. Mm. I personally feel that if there is an ISKCON temple next to us, and if the ISKCON temple is giving milk, if they have their farm and they're giving milk, it's better to purchase that milk from our ISKCON temple. Why? Because we will be rest assured that that milk that is coming to our home will be torture free, will be ahimsa. But बाहर के जो भी brands है, I'm not, you know them better, Amul and Mother Dairy and whatever. They may use all these fancy names, but you don't know what's going on in the dairy industry, right? And if it's such a big chain, like any of these brands, you will not have people who are like nicely going to remove the milk and गाय को लाड लड़ाएंगे नहीं होगा, because it's all money making thing. You have to produce maximum milk in less amount of time, right? So there will be torture that's going on, which is maybe just not promoted. So let's do our research. I'm not promoting one over the other. I have nothing to do against Amul and Mother Dairy, but I'm just saying as time is evolving, technology is being used to harm the animals. So let's make a conscious decision. Best is if there is an ISKCON temple next to us, if they have a farm and we can get milk from there, great. Because rest assured, we'll know at least हमारे ISKCON मंदिर में cows are not tortured. It will be torture-free milk or paneer or whatever. So just like we use the principle of not torturing the animals for meat, just like we use the principle of not torturing the animals for leather, just like we use principle for not torturing the animals for anything for that matter in our lives, let's take it one step ahead and see that even for dairy, because the dairy industry has been evolving so much that it's getting brutal day by day. Mhm. So anyway, so the point here is Shivananda Sen had love and affection for the dog. And the reason we discussed all this is Bhagavad Gita explains that a devotee means shows the same respect to dog or an elephant or any animal for that matter. We are equal. Samadarshina, Krishna says. We are equal to everyone. And also on the similar lines, as devotees, yes, we respect dogs, yes, we respect animals, but we do not get them home. This this trend of having pet animals or having dogs inside our home, having cats inside our home. This is not a Vedic principle. In Vedic traditions, we never get animals and like dogs and cats and whatever inside our home. Why? Because yes, we respect and love them, but we also understand that dogs and cats they uh, they attend nature's call anywhere, right? Inside the house, they don't go to a restroom to attend nature's call. They just do it anywhere inside the house practically. So in a house where you have deities, where you have Gaurnitai, where it's meant to be clean, the Brahminical standards get compromised when there are animals inside the house. Mhm. So it's good to take care of them, love them, anything outside the house, but inside the house, this tradition of having pet dog and Labrador and this and that, it's a more Americanized thing. It's a more a Western thing. It's not a Vedic thing. We don't see any of our Sampradayak acharyas have a pet dog or a pet cat. We don't see Rupa Goswami having a Labrador. We don't see all of that. We don't see any of the acharyas ever promoting this. So it's not a Gaudiya thing. It's not a Vedic principle either. Yes, we respect that, but outside the house, not inside the house. Yes, home is a mandir, correct? So when you treat home as a mandir, when our house is a temple, temple has some restrictions. We cannot breach everything. And जैसे नहीं नहीं हम कुत्ते से प्यार करते हैं हम कुत्ते को घर लेके आएंगे. It's good to show respect to other animals, but there are some boundaries also where we can show their love. But Shivananda is saying here, he decides to show love to the dog, to get the dog to Jagannath Puri so that the dog can meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One day, Shivananda Sen's servant forgot to feed the dog. At dinner time, Shivananda inquired whether the dog had gotten its meals. Hearing that the dog has not been fed, he became very unhappy. He then sent, now's the height. He sent 10 men to go and find for the dog. बेचारे बेचारा कुत्ता कहाँ चला गया? Where did the dog go? Hmm? He sent 10 men to go and find for the dog, but no one could find it. Shivananda Sen fasted for the night. He didn't eat anything. Why? Because the dog was not found and the dog had not eaten, so Shivananda Sen fasted. This is height of Jive Daya. Hmm? जीवे दया कृष्ण नाम सर्वधर्म सार नदी या गोद्रु में नित्यानंद महाजान. Hmm? जीवे दया Krishna Nam Sarvadharma Sar, the name of Krishna, holy name, and Jivadaya. Jivadaya doesn't mean just daya to human beings. Jiva means all Jiva, including animals. So Shivananda saying here is showing Jivadaya, wherein uh, he has not eaten all his night. Can you imagine? Can you just see the difference, dear devotees? The level of devotion and the level of compassion that Shivananda Sen has in comparison to the present day scenario. Shivananda Sen is ready to fast for the dog so that because the dog is not eaten all night, he sends people to find for the dog. He's fasting because the dog has not eaten. He's paying money to the boatman so that the dog can meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's getting the dog to Jagannath Puri. All of this for the dog. And what is the present day doing? Just slaughtering the animal, slaughtering the dog. Here, Shivananda Sen is fasting for the dog, and here the dog is slaughtered so that it can be put on the plate. There are countries like that also. You go to China and all those places. China has a festival called as the Yulin Dog Meat Festival. It's very popular in China, where it's a festival to sell dog meat. तो आप बस विचार कीजिए कि हम कितना दिन बर दिन कितना पतित होते जा रहे हैं. How much the world is getting deteriorated every single day. I can't even imagine maybe another 100 years from now, another 500 years from now, how pathetic it's going to be. हम्म। तो अभी समय है. अभी अभी यदि अब हम भक्ति करने में थोड़ा डिले कर दिए तो आगे चलकर और कठिनाई होगी. There will be more challenges. There will be more difficulties. It's like swimming against the waves. When you're swimming with the tide, it's easy. When you're swimming with the flow of the current of the water, it's comparatively easier. But when you have to swim the other way around, it's more difficult. So that's our situation. We are trying to get Krishna, but there's this current of Kali Yuga that's flowing in the opposite direction, and to swim across that is extremely difficult. Mhm. So Shivananda saying here, he fasted all night. In the morning, they looked for the dog but couldn't find it anywhere. In anxiety, the devotees walked to Jagannath Puri, where they met Lord Chaitanya as usual. The next morning, the devotees came to Lord Chaitanya and saw the same dog there. So the dog had reached before Shivananda Sen. The dog was so eager to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that वो पहले पहुंच गए. Lord Chaitanya was throwing some remnants of green coconut pulp to the dog and was saying to the dog, chant Rama, chant Krishna, chant Hari. Seeing the dog eating and chanting Krishna, Krishna, the devotees were surprised. Shivananda Sen humbly offered obeisances to the dog, not obeisance to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He offered obeisances to the dog. Mhm. Just to counteract his offenses to it. भक्ति का भाव देखिए. एक तो पहला फास्टिंग करते हैं फॉर दैट डॉग. Then he doesn't find the dog. He sends people to search. Then finally, when they come to Jagannath Puri and they see the dog, he offers obeisances to the dog as प्रायश्चित्त कि आप कृपया हमें माफ कर दीजिए. All this to a dog, not to a human being. Look at the level of devotion of Shivananda Sen. Mhm. So in a generation wherein they were offering even obeisances to a dog, we can imagine in 500 years how much deterioration has happened, right? In a generation where they were taking dog to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and paying extra money, how much deterioration has happened just as far as the animal society is concerned. Mahaprabhu would dance with these animals at Jarikhanda forest. He would make tigers and deers and all of them raise their hand and make them chant Hare Krishna. And now the same animals are being killed and slaughtered. So just in a matter of 500 years, things have changed so much. So we can imagine maybe in another 500 years from now, how much more it's going to um, change and deteriorate. The next day, no one saw the dog, for it had attained its spiritual body and departed for Vaikunta. Shivananda Sen's attachment to the dog was a great boon for it. Such is the benefit of somehow or the other becoming the favorite of a Vaishnava. There is no harm in taking birth again and again if one can take birth under the care of a Vaishnava, even as an animal. यदि बारंबार भी जन्म लेना पड़े, इसमें कोई गलती नहीं है, यदि हम भक्तों के संग रहे. If we are surrounded by devotees and we are under the care of devotees, even if it's an animal species, there is no harm. It's written here for the fact that the dog was under the care and love of Shivananda Sen, and it got a spiritual form and it departed for the spiritual world. It went back to Vaikuntha before anyone else, even before Shivananda Sen. Mhm. So if somehow or the other we are a favorite of a Vaishnava, and we can become their Kripa Patra, we can become the recipient of their mercy. When then by their mercy, we can hope to achieve Krishna faster. I remember um, this one very interesting story one devotee had once told me that when the Bhagavad Gitas were being published in our ISKCON movement, these Bhagavad Gitas uh, needed to be taken from one place to the other. So they had to be taken across. They had this USSR at that time. Now it's Russia and all those places. That time it was USSR. So these Bhagavad Gitas needed to be taken cross to USSR. But there were so many um, security checkpoints that it was practically difficult to get Gita because the rules of USSR at that time was pretty strict. And to get religious books inside a place where it's not appreciated is very, very difficult. So His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, he decided to do the unthinkable. What he did was he loaded 5,000 Bhagavad Gitas in his truck and he decided to drive across to go to the other side. And he knew there would be guards, he knew there would be policemen, but he just took a chance just so that Prabhupada's Gitas, if possible, can go to the other side and we can make more devotees there. So he decided to drive. He put the Gitas, about 5,000 Gitas on his truck, and he took a dog along with him. So the devotees were they asked Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj that Gurudev, why are you taking dog? You're going for a preaching mission. You're going to give Bhagavad Gita. Why take a dog? And Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj didn't go on to elaborate or explain, but he took a dog along with him. Just himself, dog, and 5,000 Gitas. And as he reached the checkpoint where they were doing the security checks, the guard who was there, the police person who was there, he saw Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj and he saw the dog. And his attention went towards the dog. And he said, "You can't take this dog there." Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, "No, no, he's my pet dog. He's my favorite dog. He's been there all my life. I have to take him." The policeman said, "No, you can't take the dog to the other side. You can go, but not the dog to the other side." And Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, "No, this dog has always been there with me. I can't live without the dog." In all the flowery language glorifying the dog, the policeman said, "Look, you can't take the dog to the other side. There are some rules here. You can't take the dog from here to there. Please try to understand. If you take the dog to the other side, my job is at stake. Please, I beg you. If you can just release the dog here, please don't take the dog." And Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, "No, this dog is very dear to me." And it went back and forth. And finally, this police person who was there, he said, "Well, I will release the dog inside the forest, but please don't take the dog inside. My job will be at stake." And Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, "Okay, if that's what you think, if that's what your rules are, you can release the dog inside the forest." And this police person, he took the dog and he released the dog inside the forest. And now, because the whole conversation revolved around the dog, he forgot to check what was there inside the truck, what was there behind the truck. Because the whole conversation was his dog, 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 dog Mahima. They did not even check. The doors opened and 5,000 Gitas went across. Why? Because of a dog. So Krishna Bhakta A Bada Chatur. Devotees can use animals for preaching without harming them. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, that devotee was telling me. Hmm, I've heard the same story in multiple occasions. I heard this once in Gita Nagari. I heard this once even from Gauranga Prabhu. Hmm. So Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj used that dog just so that the Gitas could go the other side. Hmm. Just to divert the attention of that security person, he brought that dog and spoke all this discussion so that the attention got diverted and our preaching continues. So devotees can use even dogs in their preaching in a way that we can't think. So yes, we love and respect animals, and if the animal can help us in our preaching, so be it. Let's do it. But we don't accept the philosophy of hurting the animals and killing the animals, etc. This is very uh, inhuman. So here we find there was some dog Mahima where the dog got the Supreme Lord. Meanwhile, according to Lord Chaitanya's orders at Prayag, Rupa Goswami went to Vrindavan and began to write a drama on Krishna Lila. When the Bengal devotees were going to Jagannath Puri, Rupa Goswami wanted to join them because Lord Chaitanya had earlier instructed him to come to Jagannath Puri. So Rupa and Anupam. So Anupam is the brother. So there are three brothers, Rupa, Sanatan, and Anupam. Hmm. Anupam is the father of Jiva Goswami. So that's the connection. Rupa, Sanatan, and Anupam. Anupam के पुत्र है Jiva Goswami. That's how Jiva Goswami is connected to Rupa and Sanatan in one family. Hmm. So Rupa and Anupam departed to Bengal, but somehow Anupam died when they reached Bengal. Therefore, Rupa Goswami could not meet the devotees in Bengal. So he proceeded to Jagannath Puri alone. On his way, he rested for a night at Satyabhamapur. That night, he got a dream in which Krishna's queen, Satyabhama, ordered him, write a separate drama about me. By my mercy, it will be extraordinarily beautiful. Rupa then considered, I have brought together all the pastimes of Krishna and Vrindavan and Dwaraka in one work. Now I have to divide them into two dramas. After reaching Jagannath Puri, Rupa Goswami stayed with Haridas Thakur in his hut. Lord Chaitanya came there and met him and introduced Rupa Goswami to all the devotees. Rupa became the object of love and affection for all the devotees of Bengal and Orissa. Every day, Lord Chaitanya would go and give prasad to Rupa and Haridas and talk with them, thus receiving the Lord's transcendental favor. Srila Rupa Goswami's Srila Rupa Goswami felt unlimited pleasure. One day, Lord Chaitanya spoke to Rupa Goswami. Do not take Krishna out of Vrindavan. Yadu Kumar Krishna is Vasudev, who manifests pastimes in Mathura and Dwarka. He is different from Nanda Kumar Krishna, who never leaves Vrindavan. Rupa was surprised and thought, now Satyabhama's order to write two separate dramas has been confirmed by Lord Chaitanya. Thus, Rupa Goswami wrote two dramas, Vidagdha Madhav that describes Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, and Lalit Madhav that describes Krishna's pastimes in Mathura and Dwaraka. So just to summarize this, Srila Rupa Goswami had this desire of writing about Krishna in Krishna and Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwaraka, and he wanted to write all of that. So he had made this desire of writing all of that, and when one night when he was on his way to Bengal, when he was in a place called Satyabhamapur, the place of Satyabhama, he got a dream from Satyabhama wherein he mentioned that don't make it into one book, write two separate books. Don't take Krishna out of Vrindavan, have that in one book, and then write a separate book for Krishna's Dwarka pastimes, etc. Don't combine all of them in one. So then Rupa Goswami started thinking that, oh, I was thinking of writing everything in one. Now I've got this dream. So is it a dream or is it my imagination or how should I process it? But then when he goes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu reconfirms it. And Mahaprabhu says the same thing. Don't take Krishna out of Vrindavan. Let Krishna be in Vrindavan. and let Krishna's Dwarka pastimes be separate. Don't mix both of them. So for Rupa Goswami, it was a confirmation of what he received from Satyabhama before he came to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that's how Srila Rupa Goswami writes two books. One, he writes Vidagdha Madhav, which is Krishna and Vrindavan pastimes. And then he writes Lalit Madhav, which is Krishna outside of Vrindavan, Dwarka, etc. Why? Because he got this instruction from Satyabhama and it was confirmed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just as the Lord understands the devotees' hearts and gives them relevant instructions, the devotee also understands the Lord's heart and serves and praises him accordingly. Srila Rupa Goswami Pada ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.